battery use revolution in Australia can be a blueprint, solving the problem of renewable solar energy imprint for the rest of the world, including the United States, at a time when the Republican-led United States has pulled back on supporting wind, solar, and rates of electricity have gone up when the war in Iran elevates prices for fossil fuels that power United States electricity, while the United States blocks wind farms. A great folly. So what is Australia doing that is different, you remark? Why a fall of 10% in the Australian benchmark? Electricity price, Australia was already one of the top 3 global leaders in solar power, with panels in 1 of 3 Australian homes. Unfortunately, Australia also remains a major contributor to the climate crisis, with exportation of vast amounts of fossil fuels. But it is batteries that are giving Australia a new burst of speed, attaining cleaner air. Nearly 60% of the household scale battery capacity installed this financial year across almost 200 other countries will be in the southern of Australia since July 2026. About 415,000 household scale batteries fixed in place. That is 1 battery unit for every 25 Australian homes. Batteries counter the long-used dive into arguments against renewables, the argument that renewables are unpredictable and intermittent, and that renewables therefore put extra burdens on a national grid, must therefore have an expensive backup power source, such as the air-polluting fossil fuel natural gas in place. Batteries knock down that argument against renewables. Instead, batteries mean solar power can be stored and used when it is needed. Industrial-scale batteries are being built nearly as quickly as home-based batteries to hold solar. With Australia with population of only 27 million, trailing only China with a population of 1.4 billion, and the US with population of 350 million, in new capacity after connections more than doubled. In 2025, battery used increased for home and industrial batteries, and that is beginning to bring down the cost of electricity from the spindly power grid of Australia, which includes more than 24,850 miles of transmission lines and cables between tropical far north Queensland and Tasmania, known as the Southern State Island. The battery revolution has not been free, funded by a generous taxpayer-funded subsidy from Labour's Anthony Albanese government. Starting in 2025, July last, it committed $2.3 billion over 4 years as rebates for the upfront cost for households by 30%. The rebate was expected to support 1 million batteries installed by 2030. 1/3 of the goal are already installed, with more than 1,000 batteries being installed each day. Take-up of rebates far exceeded forecasts. Around 330 days later, multiplied by 1,000 households, is around 330,000 more batteries in households. That is 33% of the batteries expected to be installed inked by 2030. And we are only half through 2026. Facing calls to be cut to reduce costs, the government announced in December 2025 that rebates had been reduced for bigger batteries. But the government lifted the total funding of aid to $72 billion to keep it going to the end of the decade. The overall goal was doubled to 2 million batteries. Some criticize and say battery rebates favor the wealthy and renters are not included, and all parts of Australia are not targeted. But if you're a battery manufacturer for residential, right now you are focused on Australia.